Hey y'all, welcome back. So I changed up my angle again today. Now that I've got more shelves, I'm still trying to figure out exactly where I want to put everything. Today is December 31st, so today is wrap-up day. I am really excited. I ended up being able to read 8 books in the month of December. I felt like I was in a huge reading slump this month, but the fact that I got 8 books in makes me feel really, really good. Before I dig into my wrap-up, what I want to do is I want to mention my top 3 videos of the year. I only started my BookTube channel 4 months ago. September. Yeah, because it was my August wrap-up, September TBR that was my first video. So September was when I started my channel. It's been a huge whirlwind. It's been so much fun. I love each and every one of you subscribers. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe down below. I would love to see you hang around and I'd love to interact with you more. Okay, so my top 3 videos of the year, meaning the videos that got the most attention or the most likes. Starting with number 3 is my review of Life and Death, The Twilight Reimagined by Stephenie Meyer. I know that was a very unpopular book on BookTube, but I ended up really enjoying it. I will link that down below. All 3 of these will be linked down below. My second one is my breakup with Once Upon a Time. I got so fed up with the show after this season, after this, winter finale that I can't handle it anymore. I'll explain all the reasons why in that video, so go ahead and check that out. And my number 1 video of 2015 was my full Lunar Chronicles review of the entire series. I was able to get it up like the day winter came out or the day after because Amazon brought me the book a day early. Thank you, Amazon, by the way. It was really fun to film. I really enjoyed the series. Again, if you want to, the way I did it is I did a little brief description of each book before, and my brief thoughts on it before delving into the spoiler stuff at each book. If you haven't read like Winter or you stopped after Scarlet, you can still go and kind of get my general thoughts on the books before it gets into spoiler land, so I won't be spoiling anything for you if you glance at those. So go ahead and check those out. I'd love to have you guys enjoy a lot of the videos that everybody else enjoyed as well. So with that being said, let's move into my December 2015 wrap-up. It's hard to believe December's over. I didn't really track how many books I read and stuff because I was so late to the game with the BookTube thing. I had not touched my Goodreads in so long that it was very inaccurate. So for 2016, you'll have all those final numbers from me. I just know that it was a good reading year. I feel really good about everything I read, and I really enjoyed it. The first book I do not actually physically have. I got it from the library, and that is Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. I really did enjoy this book. It took me about 250 pages to get back into it. For me, with Sarah J. Maas was a little uncharacteristic. Hope that's not kind of the pattern for the next couple of books. Moving on to my next one is A Whole New World by Liz Braswell. Now, this was a fairy tale retelling of Aladdin. Liz Braswell is apparently partnered with Disney because it's all of the same Disney character. It's basically what would have happened if Aladdin hadn't gotten the lamp. And it was a really interesting plot. The way they took it wasn't exactly my favorite. I mean, I gave the book like 3 or 3.5 stars. It was fun. If you like Disney's Aladdin, you may or may not like this. I had to go back through. I had actually forgotten that I read this one this month, so it wasn't a super memorable book. But she is going to be releasing some more next year. I am tempted to try those out because I did enjoy this one. All right, next are ones that I physically have in my possession. And then that's Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. I liked this book. I enjoyed the Studio Ghibli animated film much better. The characters in this one were shallow and very lackluster, and I really didn't enjoy it for that reason. If you want something with a little more substance, I would actually watch the film. Because the general premise of the book is wonderful, but I think the characters are more lovable in the movie. Does that make sense? So I think Miyazaki, who's the director, he took this story and made it better, in my opinion. Now, I did see the movie first, so if you want, read the book and then go watch the movie and form your own opinion that way. But for me, I adore the movie and I just liked the book. The next is The Gift of the Magi and Other Short Stories by O. Henry. I read this every Christmas season. It's 80 pages long. It's nothing. I can do it in one sitting. And it's just a quick little read, brings you a little bit back to that Christmas season, and I really enjoyed it. I was kind of Scrooge this year. I can't deny that. But it's one of those things where it did kind of help me get out of that Scrooge-ish feeling just for a moment. The next one is another one I read every Christmas, and that is Two from Galilee by Marjorie Holmes. This is a fiction love story of Mary and Joseph, who are Jesus Christ's parents. If you're Christian at all, I think you'll enjoy the take on it. It's all very respectful and very well done. I don't think they blur or cross any lines that they wouldn't have. They're very true to the history of the time, and I really enjoyed it for that reason. The next is a new Christmas book, and that is The Modern Magi by Carol Lynn Pearson. My cute client Gina knows I love books, and so she picked this up for me as a gift. She's sweet. She gets me something every year. This was just a sweet little Christmas fable. I mean, I read it in half an hour, easy one-sitting read, and it just gives you all of the Christmas feels and helps you remember that Christmas isn't about gifts and all the hubbub that Christmas is. It is about so much more, and this was a wonderful reminder of that. The next is Soundless by Rochelle Mead. Now, I just finished this last night. A full book talk on this book will be coming soon. But overall, I just feel meh about this book. I gave it on Goodreads it's a 3, but it's between a 3 and like a 2.75 at this point. I felt like the characters were very blasé. I felt like it was rushed for a fantasy novel, especially a standalone. She could have spent some more time, developed the characters a little bit more, developed the story a little bit more. It felt like a YA adventure book, not a fantasy book. And maybe it's because I've been reading a lot of high fantasy lately, and I'm addicted to Brandon Sanderson right now. So that's another thing. Oh, that's another book I read. So I actually read 9. I didn't do bad this month. So the audiobook that I did this month was Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. I adore this book. I adore this series. It is wonderful. I could gush all over this book, and it would be full of spoilers because you can't even give a brief description of what's going on in this book without spoiling it. I have a full spoiler-free review on the entire Mistborn trilogy that just went up earlier this week. I will link that down below so you can go ahead and check that out there. But just know that if you have not picked up Brandon Sanderson, I would pick up Warbreaker or Elantris first to see if you like his writing style at all. And then if you do, go right on to the Mistborn trilogy because it is fantastic. And last but not least, started the Magic Kingdom of Landover series. This is a trilogy bind-up. Even though the series is like 5 or 6 books, they had a trilogy bind-up at Barnes & Noble, and so we picked that up. And so I read the first book, which is Magic Kingdom for Sale Sold. The general premise of this book is this Chicago lawyer, Ben Holiday, is kind of burnt out with his life. He lost his wife 2 years ago. She was everything to him, and he's just kind of been a zombie since. And he's flipping through a catalog that came for Christmas for his wife every year, and he sees that there is a magic kingdom for sale. And this place is called Landover, and it promises knights and dragons and all of those things you would find in a fairy tale land. He considers buying it. And so he goes through all the process of trying to buy it. He decides to buy it. He goes to Landover, finds out what's really going on in the kingdom. The story picks up from there. I don't want to spoil anything. I do plan on continuing on with the series. This is like a 3.5 to 3.75 star book for me. Terry Brooks isn't my favorite style of writing, but I'm kind of spoiled because I love Brandon Sanderson and have found him this year. So when I'm reading fantasy, I compare everybody else to him, and I guess that's not really fair. But anyway, those who have read Brandon Sanderson know what I'm talking about. But I did enjoy this book. I enjoyed enough to continue on with the series, at least one more book, and see how I feel from there. That's kind of how I treat my series, especially a little bit longer ones, is I go book by book. If I feel compelled to read the next book, I'll keep going. If I don't, then I stop. So those 9 books were what I read in December 2015. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give this video a thumbs up if you like this angle, and I'll continue to film from this angle. Thank you again, all of you wonderful subscribers. You have made 2015 so wonderful. I'm excited to see you guys back in 16, and we'll see you later. Bye!